Guy, we're
Hey,
here.
how are you?
We're doing this, man. I'm doing good,
That's
man.
good, man.
How are you?
Good, thanks, man. Good.
So excited, brother, to
Yeah,
have you here.
me too, man. Be great to be here.
Yeah, number 35.
Yeah.
Mate, you nervous?
No, I'm all right, man. Things are good. I'm
Ah.
feeling good. Feeling good. Yeah, yeah.
How many deep and meaningful chats have we had about relationships, mate?
That's true. Yeah. So many. Like what?
It's
27 years, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah, being friends for about, since we were 10.
Yep.
Excited to have you on, man. You've chosen 4 here. So we'll start. We'll get into them, man. We'll tackle them. We'll have a random one at the end. It's number 5, and
Thanks, man. Excited,
Dude.
bro. Excited, bro. Honored to be here, Jay. Honor, mate. Yeah.
Mate, it is an honor to have you here, brother. So thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna start.
Go for it.
Start with this one. Do you believe in soulmates, or do you believe that any potentially great relationship is still going to require a lot of work?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is an interesting question. I mean, growing up, everyone hears about the one. The one. Is she the one? Is he the one? Is she the one? But I think that's pretty much a bit of a Hollywood sort of thing, to be honest. This is just my sort of view on things. I think, definitely. I think there can be several choices that you can choose for the perfect marriage partner, and no matter who you do choose, it is going to take work and sacrifice and love and just loving one another and serving one another in love to make that relationship work. So whether there's, soulmates is an interesting term, but do I believe in soulmates? I think souls can be connected, definitely, especially if you got personality similarities and you bond. Like bonding is important. Emotional bonding is important, and the more you're emotionally bonded to a person, then that bond is tight. But whether there's actual soulmates, as in the one, I'm not 100% for that analogy. I guess you could say, yeah. I think we get
And would you say, like, as in, soulmates, that they just exist, they're out there, you're going to be a perfect match straight away from the get-go? Like, because you're mentioning you can be emotionally, mentally connected, and be like soulmates in that sense, but that takes work, right, to get to that level. I don't know if, some people you can meet and you can move pretty fast, maybe, and that's maybe where people might think, I've met my soulmate. Initially in those early stages of meeting someone, and maybe they're just on par with their humor, and they're both vulnerable straight away, and they can feel safe emotionally, and they connect mentally, and they can start to believe that, I've met my soulmate, this is my soulmate. But inevitably, life kicks in, and struggles come in, and even if it takes 2 years, right, that honeymoon period fades, and life gets in the way, and then maybe there's some arguments and some fights, and they can start to feel like, maybe it wasn't my soulmate, right? But when you're saying that you don't believe in that, right? Because then even if you do have an initial spark, usually a connection mentally, emotionally takes time, firstly. And if it does happen straight away, inevitably you're going to hit a brick wall.
Yep.
And then that doesn't cancel out that person as being a great fit for you. It just, you have to work, right? You've gotten to the part of the relationship where, all right, you got to start working now.
Totally. Yep. Yeah. So totally. I don't believe there's that one person out there for everybody, whether across the world, and where's that one person? I think that we can be matched, and we get to choose who we want to be with, and that takes different qualities which we look for, whether it be attracted to personality, or attracted to looks, or attracted to, caringness or kindness, or intelligence, and different things. But then, yes, definitely, there's going to be some things you're going to come against. There's going to be some challenges, because we've all got different worldviews, and we've all been raised up in different families and been through different traumas and different things in our life. Even just, something small at school can be, growing up as a child, can be something that you might later have to deal with in marriage. And marriage is not, marriage isn't a fairy tale sort of thing that just, like a princess prince sort of, even in princess and prince stories, you see there's always a bit of a challenge. There's always a bit of an obstacle to overcome, and you've got to realize what love is. See, we've got to determine what actually is love. Is love just everything working out and being a fairy tale and Prince Charming and princess and all the rest of it? But I don't actually think it is that. Love is surrendering, and surrendering to the Lord. Really, I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm believer in Jesus. So having Jesus as your number one love makes everything in balance. Having Him in the relationship as number one, but really serving one another in love. I mean, loving is loving that person, with all their faults and all their things that aren't right. And there's things that aren't right about you as well as a person, as a man, as a woman. Like, you're going to be going through different things, and it's about loving that person right where they're at, and seeing all their imperfections and seeing them just perfectly enough, just as they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And loving them enough to help them get through their challenges, maybe, and help them heal if they want to move on from where they are, right? And vice versa. You would say, yeah. It's always going to require some kind of work, though. Hey, it's not like, that and like you're mentioning, what is love? It's not just a feeling, it's not just a fairy tale thing, and then you've nailed it. You've got the perfect fit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of even younger people now are starting to realize that. It's not what they show in the Hollywood films or in the fairy tale cartoons, But like you mentioned, even now in films and fairy tales, they'll show the struggle.
Yeah, there is a struggle
part
there.
of life.
Yeah, it's just a part of life. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And love, you could say, is a choice, right? To choose to love them every day, even when it does get hard.
I would say love is a choice. Love is an action. I mean, there is a feeling of love, and you can be in love with someone, definitely. And being in love with someone is different to just loving somebody. And there's also different types of love. There's a romantic type of love. There's a which is called agape, or and there's just a brotherly love, a friend love. But when we're talking about a romantic type of love, I mean, yes, there is going to be that affection and those feelings and chemistry. Chemistry is a big thing as well. You've got to have that chemistry between someone. That's a romantic thing, and but you, I mean, overall, you will just decide to love that person, no matter what it is. I mean,
it's got to be a commitment, right?
It's a commitment, yeah. It's a commitment, and hopefully you are both on the same page where you're committed to each other, and that's where marriages work. And you're
both on that same page.
You're both on that same page, yeah. So it can't just be one in. You've got to be both in and have both be on the same page, and that takes wisdom on both parts, but also a commitment. And that's what a marriage is. It's a covenant, and it's something that you. I know that there are certain circumstances where marriages don't work, and that's not good for the person, obviously. And God doesn't like His children going through that. You know what I mean? That's the reason why marriage, divorces and stuff aren't. I mean, God, because it hurts a person going through it. It hurts his children. What it does to that person, but ultimately, it's really just when you do find that person and just trying your best in every circumstance to work through each struggle and work through each boundary and just deciding to make it work no matter what. Yeah.
All right, 100%. I think you both have to be on that level. And again, that doesn't sound like a soulmate situation, but that's the reality of what long-lasting love needs and requires for it to be long-lasting, right? So I love that. And just on a final note, imagine if there was just one soulmate for us all. Someone's bound to get it wrong, right? And then what happens?
Exactly.
It's ruined for all of us.
Everybody.
Domino effect.
Domino effect, yeah.
God. All right, man. Awesome. Let's go on to number 2.
Go for it.
Cool. Okay. I think this is a good segue for this one.
Go for it.
Why do you think men and women cheat when they cheat?
Okay, yeah. Just going on the last question as well, going to a segue into this. I think in any relationship, like, it's all good to have the honeymoon period and everything, but then when life comes around, you start getting into work and you start having kids and just the busyness of work schedules and daily life. See, you can lose the passion, you can lose the fun. So it's important to have date nights, and it's important to be fun with one another, and it's important to play with one another, and it's important to be intentional about knowing each other's love language and filling up their love tank. You know what I mean? So going to the question, why do people cheat? Well, they're obviously not feeling their love tank is full from the partner that they're with. So I mean, obviously being playful is important. I mean, God made us to be playful and have fun. I mean, having fun is an important part of life. It's having
100%.
laughter, and it's not all the seriousness and stuff. It's just a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of playing together and playfulness, and these all make a great relationship. Plus, going through the tough times and being there for one another and supporting one another and being a rock together as a home team. Like I like to say, like being a home team. You know what I mean? So, but I guess why do people cheat? Well, they're obviously not feeling. There's two reasons I think. They're obviously not filling their love tank, their physical, emotional love tank full from their partner. Now, to get your love tank full, we've all got love languages, right? There's five love languages. There's words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Yeah. So finding out, and there's the 5 love language quiz that Gary Chapman does, which you can find out what your main love language is. Finding out what your partner's love language is a big thing to help fill their love tank up.
Yeah, bring that up a lot in this podcast, actually. I think it's one of the questions, but it is a very important thing to know.
Totally. Like
if you're with someone, and to know yours as well, so you can communicate that with
to know
your
yours,
partner.
exactly, right? So if your partner's main love language is physical touch, but you're just showering her with gifts, well, she's not really going to feel that much, you know what I mean? So you need to, or if it's quality time, or on the other hand, if her love language is gifts, and you're just giving her lots of acts of service, well, it's not really going to fill her up like that, you know what I mean? So you've got to find what is that person's love language and work out what it is for you too. So for me, words of affirmation is big. So, I mean, having positive words spoken over me, by my partner, just, I mean, you've got enough people against you in life, you know what I mean? So you sort of need that one person who's always for you, you know what I mean?
You hope your partner is that.
Yeah. So,
sure.
Just having positive words, but on the other hand, it's even more important not to have any negative words spoke. It's actually more important not to have any negative words spoken or hurtful words, rather than having more good and positive words.
Yeah, especially for someone who their love language is words of affirmation, right? Because negative words, it will cut them deeper than it would cut someone whose love language is maybe physical touch and acts of service, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but also the positive words will hit you harder as well and more positively than it would with someone who that's not their love language.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I think communication is a big thing as well. Communicating these love languages to one another and just it takes actual work to do the quiz. It takes, 15, it's not a lot of work, but you actually have to do something to find out what the love languages is. So you've got to be willing to do some work in relationships to find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. There's actually an effort to rest. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of work so you can rest and enjoy a fruitful marriage and enjoy a fruitful relationship. And then everything takes sacrifice. I mean, 15 minutes doing a quiz is not a big thing to do to have a fruitful marriage. Change your marriage,
partnership, so you think knowing these things can help fill each other's love tank, right? Communicating and communicating these things to each other and other things, obviously having open, safe communication between each other where you feel like you can approach each other with the awkward to talk about things and not have your partner blow up or judge you and vice versa. You think that's very important. What about, do you believe some people maybe, what if I don't know if I know anyone personally who has been cheated on and they've given their partner all the love, like whether the wife cheated or whether the female cheated or the male cheated. But for the people who feel like I have been giving her love and I have been communicating with her and I've been, giving, filling up her well and doing my best, sometimes people still stray away. And especially maybe if they don't have any moral standards, that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, you mentioned you're a Christian, and a lot of Christians and most human beings would regard cheating on your partner is not a cool thing to do, right? You don't even have to be Christian, really. But there are some people that maybe don't see it as such a bad thing, maybe. And do you think it's it can be a little bit of selfishness, like or just a distraction. And obviously, we're human beings. I've had to learn that your partner's still going to feel an attraction for other men and other people, right? And so are you as a guy. You're going to be attracted to other women, but it's how you choose to respond to that desire that can become awakened in you when you see someone, or even harder when maybe it's someone you interact with every day at work or in your studies or whatever, and you're coming across this person, and like, do you think sometimes just some people haven't managed that well, and they've let themselves maybe, I'll open up this door a little bit, I'll talk to her on the side, and it's nothing bad, I'm not cheating on, I'm not cheating on my wife, or I'm not cheating on my husband, and then it goes to like, little textings, like texting each other, or maybe even meeting up then after work, hanging out a little bit later after work or before work, or and then eventually they're getting emotional with each other, sharing things, and then one thing leads to the other, and yeah, obviously I do believe that if someone's in a relationship and they're sharing with their partner already, and there's a place to be vulnerable and be safe to be vulnerable, then it should decrease their chances of sharing with someone else, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens. So what do you think about that? Do you think just people have to be a little bit more disciplined and having boundaries with these things?
Yeah, I actually wish I mentioned this first. So having the love languages and filling each other's love tank is probably secondary, because you're right. A lot of times people are filling up each other's love tanks, and their partner does cheat on them, and that's wrong. That's not a good thing to do. It's not a moral thing to do. And I mean, usually I'm a guy, so I think I can say this. Usually it is the guy cheating on the girl. So I mean, and I just and sometimes people go through a big struggle with that. So I would have to say, I mean, look, if you're in a relationship and you're in a committed relationship, and this goes both for women and men, okay? Put your big boy pants on and stay committed to the relationship.
Yeah.
There's going to be temptations. There's going to be little things that can easily open a door. I mean, it could be someone just in your workplace. It could be something online. I mean, it's just stop it. Naughty.
Yeah.
Naughty. Like, don't go there. Like, it's just, you're in a committed relationship and you've decided to be in that relationship now. I mean, God wants you to be accountable to that relationship, especially if you're married. I mean, that's 100%.
Especially if you're married.
Yeah, I mean, you just...
And especially if you have children involved. Because it's not just about you and your feelings and you getting your fix now, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're a man or woman, it's like a part of you mentioned earlier, love is a choice, and love is also selfless, right? And it's sacrificial. Like love is choosing that person, right? Whether I choose my wife or I choose my husband, and I'm going to commit to them, and I'm going to put them, in this world, I'm going to put them first, and I'm going to honor them, right? I'm going to do what's right by them, and not just go for, my feelings and my emotions are going to want to sometimes do things that are not right, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're angry and you want to choke someone, but that doesn't mean you should do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sometimes you're going to feel a desire for someone, and that doesn't mean you go pursue that and you get intimate with them, whether that be not even just physical, sex or physical unfaithfulness, but emotional, mental unfaithfulness as well, sharing in a deeper level and connecting in that deeper. You've got to be careful, because that can lead to a physical a form of unfaithfulness. So.
Totally, yeah. I mean, with emotions, see, it's not wrong to have emotions, but you don't have to let the emotions control you. You're in control of your emotions, and really, look, your partner's not going to be perfect, and you're not perfect either. That's why you've got to show grace to your partner so that they can show grace to you. And ultimately, look, I'm speaking from a Christian point of view here right now, but you really need to find your love and your security and your identity through Jesus. Having it through Jesus means that, your love tank's already filled no matter what, and that way you're giving to your partner out of the overflow of the love that God has given you,
I love that.
I mean, God,
That's nice.
Jesus died for us on the cross, and he was raised again to give us life. So, I mean, now we can give that life to our partner, and it doesn't mean we have to be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean,
boundaries are important.
Boundaries are important, but just being able to love your wife and be a good husband, and then the wife to be a good the wife to be a good wife to the husband, and et cetera, et cetera. So
I think there needs to be boundaries within the relationship that you both communicate and are very clear on, and then maybe also communicate the boundaries you're going to have for yourselves to honor each other while you're out there in the big world, right?
Yeah.
Working, doing whatever, because you're going to cross paths with so many human beings. The goal isn't to keep each other away from the world and lock your wife in the room or your husband away, and and don't talk to ladies or don't talk to women or to men, but set boundaries. And both agree on these are the boundaries we're going to set within our relationship. And when we're out there in the public with people, like maybe no one-on-ones with the opposite sex, especially at certain times of the day in certain places, right? Like if I was married, I wouldn't meet with a girl I work with, especially if I was attracted to her. I wouldn't meet with her at her house in the evening, especially, because we're going to talk work or whatever.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries, right?
Setting boundaries and having trust as well. Trust is a big thing. I mean,
yeah.
Without trust, any relationship is not really going to work.
It's going to crumble eventually.
It's going to crumble, but just trusting.
It sounds going to be weird there, eh? Hang on a minute. Let me try and... what happened there? Go again?
Yeah.
That's better.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, just having trust for one another in each situation, and realizing that trust is really important, and just realizing how important trust is, and not abusing it, because once trust is broken, it takes time to rebuild if you do decide to try and rebuild that. You know what I mean? So just realizing that if the trust is important and it's valuable, and if once you do have that trust, to just never lose it, hold on to it like a pearl.
Yeah, do your best
in a field. Yeah,
right. I love that. And I think, communication, obviously, and communicating your boundaries and everything is a good way of developing trust with each other. If you come to, you're on the same page with things, and you can both be like, all right, cool, let's do life and let's trust each other that we're going to follow through. And if we don't, we can trust that we're going to come to each other and confess.
Totally, yeah.
And maybe talk through it or work through it or not. We'll see where we go. But they're very important. So just to cap it off, you think people cheat because maybe they're not communicating well and they're not filling up each other's love tanks, right? And they're maybe not healing damage they've done to each other, maybe in words or whatever, and acts in the past. And also maybe they're not setting boundaries, right? And making it very clear what boundaries they're going to have in the world. They're not being selfless sometimes.
Yeah, and
choosing love and choosing their partner to honor them.
Yeah, choosing love and just having that conviction, that godly conviction that it's wrong. Yeah, and just getting their love tank filled from the Lord, and then just really realizing that it's it's wrong to cheat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a moral thing. I mean, that's just not right. Yeah.
I think if someone doesn't think that's wrong, then I'd go as far to say that maybe they shouldn't be in a relationship, right?
Yeah,
especially with someone who wants to be committed.
Yeah,
maybe with someone who doesn't, who's open to it, then as well.
Yes, definitely.
That's when you have to have the same values, I guess.
Yeah, having the same values and being in a committed relationship. Yes. Yep.
Alrighty,
let's go,
dude. I think this is a good segue for this question. Now, then, what does healthy love look like to you, Guy? We've kind of summed it up a lot already, so we can just kind of debrief it again.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of time.
I will mention healthy love, right? Healthy love. Just one thing quickly, right?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, if you love someone, it's great to love someone, right? I mean, it's great to give love. It's great to have love. I mean, love is, three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
Amen.
So, love is powerful. You know what I mean? Love dissolves all hate. Love is powerful. It's a powerful thing. But the thing is, right? See, when you tell your partner that you love them, okay, that's a great thing to do, right? And now, obviously, you want to know that you're loved back, but if you do say I love you and you really, really, really do need to hear that I love you back, right? You're not sort of really saying I love you to them. You're sort of saying I need you.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yes.
So when you do say I love you, it really should be out of you don't necessarily need the I love you back.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're coming from a secure point of view that you are loved and you are secure in who you are. Your identity is in Christ. You know who you are. You know who you are as a man. And obviously, you like to know that you love back, and that comes. But when you do say I love you, it's like you're giving it for free. You know what I mean? You don't need anything back.
Yeah.
If you do say it and you want something back, are you really saying I love you, or are you saying I need you right now?
Yeah, right.
And that's the difference where you'll feel it. If you say I love you and you don't feel the need to have it back, you'll feel a freedom.
An unconditional kind of love,
Yeah, an
right?
unconditional kind of love.
And
Yeah.
that could go on beyond relationships, which we don't need to go into. But to be able to love your partner and say, look, I'm going to choose you. At the end, you mentioned trust earlier. We need to trust each other. And that's where, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, you have to, because they're human beings. They're free. You don't want to chain anyone up.
Yeah.
You know, God forbid you're in a relationship like that. But you got to, trust requires a letting go. But when you're in a place where you can just love them and you're like, you know what, I love you, I choose to love you, whether you love me back, and whether you keep your end of the bargain on what we agreed on and being faithful, I don't care, I trust you. I'm going to let you go, and I'm just going to keep choosing to love you every day, every night, and I don't need you to love me back. It's nice if you do, that's awesome, but I don't need you to love me back. And you would probably go as far to say that to be in a place like that requires you to have something else in place in your life, right? And for you would be your faith in Christ.
My faith in
right?
Christ, yeah,
because that fills you up. That's something eternal, beyond this world, beyond material things that you go to, and you already know you're loved. You already know your identity in Christ. So now you can freely, like you said earlier, from the overflow of love you receive from God, you can love others, whether they love you back or not. It doesn't matter. You're still going to love them, right? And if they love you back, awesome. Maybe it could be a good relationship.
Yeah.
And then if your partner is in the same boat, I'd like to believe that could be a beautiful thing.
Of course.
A beautiful dance. In life.
I mean, that type of love is a radical love, you see, and that type of radical love changes lives. It transforms lives, you see, because people realize they're loved just as they are. Yeah. And you'll always find Jesus loved us like this, right? It changes a person, and they will ultimately love you back just as much as you love them.
I mean that's the kind of love that softens hearts, right? Yeah. That softens hardened hearts, that heals damaged hearts. Yeah. The kind of love that, you know, if you're loving and again, like I said, it could go beyond obviously a partnership in love, like a spouse or a romantic relationship. It can go to a brother or a sister or a friend. You love them even though they keep dropping the ball, or they keep making mistakes, or they keep doing the same thing that's hurting you and hurting them, but you still love them. You're there, you show up, you still choose them. It's not like, you did that again, I'm out. Yeah, I'm done with you. And eventually it's that kind of love, right, that may help people heal and move on, because they feel loved, obviously genuinely loved, and find healing and be able to hopefully eventually love back.
Usually, I've heard it often said, and hurting people hurt others, right? So, I mean, usually if someone does hurt someone, it's usually from a wound that they're carrying themselves, like a bird with a mended, you know, with a wounded wing, and sometimes that wing just needs healing. You know what I mean? And if you can be in a position where you're secure enough in who you are, and that God loves you, and you're okay just as you are, you know, if you get to a point where everything was stripped away from you and you'd still be okay because you know who you are, you know where you're going, then that way you can love out, then that love transforms people. And ultimately you'll find out, I mean, look, you know, that the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God above all else and his righteousness, and everything else should be added to you. Seeking first the kingdom of God is loving people, and you'll find that God just gives everything back to you more and abundantly into your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. You find abundant relationships and abundant friendships and abundant marriages, and you know, just God blesses you, you know, when you seek his kingdom first. But I
love that. Yeah. I'm a believer of that. It's easier said than done, and we can get caught up in the ways of this world, right? Chasing love and putting love as the ultimate thing to achieve, and putting it on the pedestal, so to speak, and or money and finances and career and status and fame or whatever, and all these things that the world teaches you is important. And you know, if you have more of these things, you'll be loved more, and you'll find more love, and more people will be attracted to you, and you'll be an awesome person and a legend in the eyes of people, you know. But it's funny, like God says, like seek first the kingdom, which is love, right? And living in love, which is more sacrificial. The ways of the world is like this. It's all, we're all trying to be at the top of the pyramid, whereas bam, like Christ said that if you're on the bottom, the greatest is the person on the bottom, right? Who's serving and helping others and giving and loving unconditionally. And then if you do that, everything else will be added to you, and that's even more fulfilling, right? Than chasing the things of the world. And like you hear it many times. Most people, they've achieved all these things, and you hear them on podcasts and interviews, and they're like, I'm still empty, man. It wasn't. I'd achieve that, and then I'd want more, and it's never ending. It's not satisfied. And I'd like to also, I truly believe, mate, unless you're in a place where you feel confident in who you are and your identity, and in and that you're loved, that unless you're there, you're not really in a healthy place to walk into a relationship, right?
It's true. Yeah.
That's why a lot of relationships, I believe, fail, because we go into them needy of that, like it's going to complete us or fulfill us, and then that's why we desperately hang on to it. And then when they hurt us, it hurts deeper because we're hanging on more than we should be, you know, like, and we're needing it more than we should be. Whereas if we didn't need it that much and we just choose that person because we're a good fit, we're making it work. And then if they hurt you, it's not so much, it still hurts, but it's not as much of a deep wound because your strength isn't attached to that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, a great marriage is going to be two whole people coming together to make a great combination. But
I say that a lot.
I mean, but yeah, like, look, even if it, you know, like, you know, definitely people can hurt one another, but even if that hurt does come in for some way, you know, you're still okay because you know who you are, you know where you're going, and you know where your love comes from. You know what I mean? And just knowing your identity and knowing your security and who you are as a person, whether that be a man or a woman. You know, obviously I don't know who I am as a man. I don't know what I stand for. So, And
then it helps you when you're in that place. You're more likely to respond, even when you get hurt. You're more likely to respond in a healthy way because, again, it's not your life source, that relationship. And if you're not married yet and you discover, you know, we're not a good fit, you're more likely to be able to walk away from that relationship and not desperately hang on because it's, you really need it now and you need the fix of it. You know, you can, you know, in a healthy way, walk away and say, okay, this isn't good, you know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, totally, man. Look, I'm not saying be a doormat because you never want to be a doormat. You got to have,
you have to have boundaries.
You got to have boundaries. You got to definitely have boundaries. Boundaries are so important, and you got to respect yourself. You know, Jesus says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." He didn't say love your neighbor more than yourself. He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself."
Yeah.
And you know,
it's a good point to bring up, man.
You know, and Jesus said, "Go the extra mile." He didn't say go the extra 10 miles. He just said go the extra mile. So you know, go do what you can, but don't go, you know, smash yourself into nothing. So
it's got to get to a point when you're like, what you talking about, Lewis? Willis? Was it Willis? Yeah. What you talking about, Willis? I go 1 mile, but 10 miles?
10 miles. Oh. What you talking about, man?
What? Hold up.
Yeah. Hold the phone. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do, mate? That's gonna come out. No, I love that, man. So healthy love is knowing who you are in Christ, right? And not needing that love from someone else. Two whole people coming together, adding to each other's life, not fulfilling each other, right? Healthy love is choosing to love unconditionally, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you get back, but also not being a doormat. And this goes back to question number 1, having boundaries and being clear and communicating them to each other. Like, I believe, that's a good way to avoid being a doormat, mate. Yep. You don't want to be a doormat.
I want to be a doormat, yep.
Number 4?
Go for it.
Alrighty. It's a good one. What draws you initially to a woman? What are the top 3 qualities you look for in a woman before going further with them?
Okay, top 3 qualities. Initial attraction. I guess for anybody, I mean, initially you are going to, because without speaking a word to anybody, or without speaking a word to a woman, obviously I'm a man, so obviously without speaking a word to a woman, you're going to be attracted to their looks. That's the initial thing, right? That's what's initially going to draw you to speak to them if you don't know them. Now, friends can come into play where you get to know people through different circles and different activities, and whether it be church or whether it be work, so you get to know them as a person, so you get to know their character. So I'd say the initial attraction with anything, you know, you're usually looking at someone you're physically attracted to. But that's nothing. That's not the whole. That's not the whole package. Definitely not the whole package. You need to be looking at their personality, their character. So I guess the initial attraction is the looks, but then you're looking at their personality, their character. You know, I mean, what their heart's like. I mean, it's about their heart. I'd say heart is probably more important than anything. Are they caring? Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Are they considerate? You know, can you have fun with them? I mean, often I look at this like, I've heard this said by my pastor actually. You can look at a person and tell a lot from them by a way they respond to an accident. If you were driving across the road, through the road, and there was an accident, and you could see that there was an accident, and there was obviously maybe some people being hurt, but would you call the police first, or would you call the ambulance first? You know, your first response to that is going to tell you what type of person that is.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean? If you call the police to try and get things sorted and try and get people sorted and, get things worked out, or are you going to call the ambulance to get people healed? You know, what's more important to you? Yeah. You know what I mean? Is it the coming down? Is it the structure, or is it the healing of people? You know what I mean? Is it the caringness? Is it the compassion? You know what I mean? That's something that I would look at. I mean, what type of person is this person? Would they call the police in an accident, or would they call the ambulance? You know what I mean? And usually, and I would go for the ambulance person. You know what I mean? So
you want a caring, tender heart.
Yeah, caring and tender, kind, compassionate. Loving.
Someone with empathy.
You know what I mean? Someone if they see somebody who's hurting, is going to want to put healing into that person. You know what I mean? Not going to put judgment on. I mean, so the police are judging, so they're coming down. Okay, you've done this wrong. You're going to be locked away. You know,
who's at fault?
Yeah, who's at fault? See, where the ambulance is always healing. Okay, what's wrong? How can we help? Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and usually the person who's done something wrong knows what they've done wrong anyway. So it's not about like condemning people or anything. It's about in not in an accident, but just in life. But it's about healing. And so I guess back to the question, just someone who's caring, loving, honest, obviously. Someone who's honest with you and careful of your feelings, and just considerate and compassionate. And for a marriage, someone who's going to be a great mom, someone who's going to be a great wife, someone who's going to.
Sometimes you don't see those qualities straight away, but there are hints. Do you believe, like when you may be dating them, that they have motherly qualities?
Yeah, of course.
Maternal kind of qualities.
Yeah.
And what would you look for? Like, what are signs that for you that you? They'll probably be a good mum. Is it like? I'm curious.
Yeah. So if I'm dating someone, I'm engaged at the moment.
Yeah,
so
congratulations, buddy.
Thank
you. A recent thing. Hey,
Thank you, man. Yeah,
love that, mate.
Yeah, thank
you. You heard it first on the podcast.
So I'm engaged, but dating. So dating, I was just I think it's good to take things slow with everything. And we were just talking about this before, Jay. Like, as a guy, you don't need to go and do flashy sort of, dinner dates on the first date or anything. Just a simple coffee date.
Done that mistake a few times.
Yeah, same here.
I love the coffee dates, man.
Yeah, just a simple coffee date where you get to know one another and learn about one another. And all that sort of stuff can come later. You know what I mean? Like,
especially for a first date,
for a first date, the coffee date, and just
get to know each other.
All the dinner dates can come later and stuff like that. So, but
But yes, so how would you start to see what are signs for you, telltale signs that she's got the maternal qualities I'm looking for?
Okay, right,
yeah. Just a couple.
Yeah. Well, a big thing is how they are with animals, I think, as well. That's one thing. So just how they are with animals, and if they've got any pets.
Can learn. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If they do have any pets, how well do they look after them, or how motherly are they with their pets? You know what I mean? Like. That can show a lot of maternal instinct, and even when they're around kids, how are they with other kids? How are they with your nephews and nieces? And do they talk about kids? Can you see they're going to be a good mum? Would they protect their kids? You can tell these qualities in a person when you spend time with them. You get to know one's character. See, character is everything. Once you get to know somebody's character, you can go into what you can usually assume. Assuming things isn't great, but you can sort of see in the future what would their response be to this certain thing. How would they be as a mother? How would they be as a wife? Would they be protecting and all that sort of thing?
And that's not that you're judging them. I think it's wise to start assuming some things or getting an idea and making some kind of like judgments, for a lack of words, that of what they, I think we're constantly assessing each other. We're in relationships, and if you're not, that's pretty foolish, and that's how you get burnt. But
I would say it's not even a judgment, Jay. I think it's more just you're just doing life with them, and you just see something that happens, and you just think, wow, that's an admirable quality that I see that could be a really great mum. Like, and you just
or vice versa. Oh, I don't. That doesn't sit well. I don't like what happened there, right? Yeah. Cool. All right, mate. Some good qualities, man. So obviously, physical attraction draws you in. I think most guys would say this. It's the same for me. Like, the physical attraction makes me curious and wanting to get to know them more. But it doesn't end there. Obviously, if I'm attracted to them, but they don't have a soft heart, or they're not the kind of character or person I enjoy or desire, then I'm not going to, pursue them. And then there are some girls that they have the character. Maybe I'm not attracted to them, but I want them in my life. I want their friendship. I think they're a good human being. So physical attraction and caring heart, honesty and motherly qualities, which is you mentioned a few other things, but they're the kind of gist of it, the main three. So
I will just finish on this last one as well for this question. Just the same values as well, the same values. So for me, it's obviously having the same Christian values and having Jesus in their heart, but just having the same values in life and going forward in the same direction in life, I think is really important in any relationship.
I bring that up a lot in this podcast. I think it's very important. There are some things you can be different, and it's fine. It might even add some more zest to the relationship. But there are some things I believe you should be on par with together, and it'll help with raising children, especially as well. If you have different beliefs, what are you going to teach your kids? What are you going to do in times of turmoil when you come together and pray to different things or trust in different things? I don't know. It could be chaotic, So I agree with that. I like that, man. Good one to bring up as well. Thanks, before we move on. All right, mate. Number 5. I know you don't have much time, guys, so we're going to get into the random. Move this around, mate. You want to pick it out?
Here it goes.
All righty. Okay. What is that?
I'll read it out.
Yeah.
Why do you think people associate being in love with someone as having ownership or possession of them? Do you think this is healthy or toxic? Okay, well, this is an interesting one, eh? This is yeah.
That makes sense to you, right? You know what it's actually saying. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I got some interesting questions from the women. I had a lot of women write to me and who've been on the podcast and what questions they have for men. So this is one of the ones they brought up. So yeah.
Okay. I think being in love with someone, having ownership or possession of them. See, that's not right. That's not healthy. That's not a healthy thing to have. That is a toxic thing to have. I see a lot of this with men, with certain women. They feel like they own their woman, or
it's their property.
Yeah, it's their property, and it's ownership of that woman. Which, there is a commitment when you get married, for sure. But it's a commitment. It's not an ownership.
Even when you're married, you don't own them, right?
Yeah. You are your own person. So do you think this is healthy or toxic? I don't think it's healthy to associate being in love with someone as having ownership or possession of them. Why do I think people do that? Okay, so why do I think people do that? I think really they don't realize what love is. They don't realize what a relationship is. This goes on a lot of what we've been talking about. Just because I'm in a relationship with someone and just because I love someone doesn't mean I own that person and they owe me anything. Nobody owes anybody anything. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything, but so you give because you want to give. You do because you want to do, right? That's where the power comes from. You love because you want to love, right? When things come with strings attached, things don't work out so well. That's called manipulation. Okay, so like you got to give out of your own heart, out of your own love, coming from a secure place and loving that person. And in marriage, it's a selfless love. Now, obviously, you want to be wise in who you choose to marry because you don't want to get crushed and you don't want to be hurt and you don't want to be like, obviously, you want to marry someone with the same values who is going to value you as a person because you get to choose who you marry. You get to choose your wife or husband.
Yeah,
so it's a good thing, right? So you get to choose who you marry, and that's the whole dating process. But you definitely don't own that person. I mean, God owns that person. God is in control. He's the creator of the world and universe. I mean, Jesus is the creator of the world and universe. So, I mean, you're in a relationship, but you're supposed to love that person. You know what I mean? Lay your life down for one another. I mean, often I thought, I'm coming from a man's point of view, and this is biblical as well, but the husband will lay his life down for his wife, just as Christ laid his life down for the church, which is the church is the bride of Christ. So, as a man, I mean, would you lay your life down for your wife? Would you lay your life down for, your partner? Obviously, I'm a Christian, so I'm looking into a marriage type of view, and yes, I would. That comes down to the point of view. What type of man am I going to be? Would I lay my life down for my children? Would I lay my life down for my wife? And the answer is yes. And that's where love comes from. You see, that's the power of it.
And you would do that not because you want something back in return or to claim ownership of that person.
No, it's a love. It's I'm no saint. I mean, look, well, okay. I mean, we're all saints if we're born again Christians, but
I know what you mean. Yeah. We're not perfect.
We're not perfect people.
We're going to drop the ball.
Yeah, but
we're going to make mistakes.
But like we're sinners and saints. But yeah, like in biblical, we're So
no, I gotcha.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah. So but yeah, you lay your life down for your relationship, and God's given me everything, so I'm going to lay my life down. And it's a selfless love where it's you love them just out of your own heart and for who they are, and you definitely don't own that person. Now, obviously, like we've talked about before, you do have boundaries. You don't become a doormat. You don't just be treated badly. But that's where boundaries come in, and people when boundaries are set and boundaries are stuck to, people realize what they can and can't do without any repercussions or anything coming up after that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they know their healthy limits.
Yeah, they know their limits. Yeah, the
that they've both come to terms with and agreed on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
that they feel like this is going to keep our marriage safe or our union safe and healthy.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
But then, like you said, whether you're dating and you have these boundaries, or even more so married and you have these boundaries, that doesn't mean you own them now or she owns you. There's still, like you mentioned earlier, then you have to let them go and trust them.
Exactly.
And you just need to do your part.
Yeah.
You be faithful. You choose to love. And you hope that they choose to be faithful to you and love you. But you can't force them. You don't own them, right? You got to let them go and let them be. Whether they do something or not, that's okay.
Yeah,
unfortunate, it happens, But the more you don't, if you're not plugged into this relationship as your life source, and if it falls apart, you fall apart with it. That's you being plugged into something higher and more eternal, and getting your strength and identity from more from other than the relationship, right? From eternal things. Then you feel like if things did fall apart and they did not keep their word, that you'll be able to deal with it better. And even if you had to then for some reason marriages fall apart, I mean, I was in one that fell apart, and but you can walk away from it and not be destroyed, right?
Totally,
and not feel like I own you. What the, and I think that goes back to the other word. That's what probably healthy love looks like, right? I'm not an expert, but I'd like to think that's what.
Yeah.
Healthy love looks like not owning each other. Hey?
Yeah, definitely not owning each other. Like having ownership and possession. Having a possessive nature is not a good quality to have. Yeah. And it's definitely not. It's not godly, and it's not healthy for any relationship. I mean, you're supposed to serve one another. That's the other word I was looking for. Serve one another. Looking how you can serve one another, and that goes both ways. So that serving one another in love is opposite to ownership and possession and demanding things.
Look, people might go there and associate love with ownership because maybe we live in a world where we buy things like, I love that car, or love that house, I love that shirt, and we go and we buy it, we purchase it, we own it, and it's ours, and we don't want someone to steal it or to wreck it or do anything to it, right, or rob us in there or whatever. So maybe that's why sometimes people can associate, I love that person, I'm going to buy it with a ring or something.
I will say something. Even marriage, like the thing is, you can't earn love. Okay, love is not something you can earn.
You just buy or earn it, right? Yeah.
Love is something that is given. It's freely given. Jesus, gave his love freely to us. We can't earn our place in heaven. We can't earn his love. He's already given it to us. We can accept it by accepting him into our heart, but we can never earn it. Just like in a relationship, I love my fiance. Now, she can't earn it. I've given it to her. It's free. It's a free gift. You can't, if it's true love, if you're talking about real love, right, it's given freely.
Yeah,
it's
right.
never earned.
Yeah.
Right. Now, hopefully that relationship is respected, and like you have a strong bond where you're one, and you respect one another and you love one another. So you're both lifting each other up and edifying each other. But ultimately, it's a free gift that can't be earned.
Yeah.
It's given freely.
Yeah. And that's just something about people maybe trying to earn the love of someone, thinking, oh, they don't love me, but I'm going to keep working and keep trying. Eventually I'll get it. Like, that's not healthy then, right? If you feel like you have to earn their love, or if you're already with someone and they're making you work for it, like, oh, maybe if you do that, I'll do this, or I'll love you more, or whatever, and that goes back to manipulation, and that's all toxic and not healthy. So that's a great point, man. Great point to maybe end it on. Love is not earned; it's freely given. It's a choice.
Yeah, I like it. Yep, definitely. I think that's a definite thing that I've realized in life, and you can't earn it. So it's a powerful thing, and it's an amazing thing, and it's a beautiful thing, and God's given it to us to express ourselves, and ultimately He's shown His love through giving us Jesus, and we can love one another, and we just got to use wisdom and discernment with everything we do, but we can be lights to the world and be in great healthy relationships if we just know the right things to do and love one another.
Love that, man. Freely love. Awesome, brother. Mate.
Yeah.
We're done.
All right. Sounds good.
Episode 35.
Cool.
Hitting on about 51, just over 51 minutes, man.
Okay,
hey, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show,
Thanks,
man.
brother.
It's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Sky, you've been in my life for, how much would we
27
say? 27 years.
Yeah.
And now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's it. All right, mate.
Love you, bro.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Thank you, man.
No worries, man. Ciao.
And to the guests, yes, coming in on YouTube or the podcast channels, thank you. This is episode number 35 with Guy Steen. Yeah. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please be sure to subscribe, follow, leave me a rating, a like. All those things help to build the podcast. And if you like this episode specifically, please feel free to share it with any family, friends, colleagues, anyone you think might be interested. Also, if you have any questions you'd like to send me, or any questions you'd like to add to the men's podcast series or the women's podcast series, any feedback, any praise, I like praise, or if you just want to reach out to me, you can do so by emailing me at datingsteadygo@gmail.com. That's DATINGSTEADYGO@gmail.com. Thanks again, guys. Ciao.